Hello, my friend, and welcome to Wisdom Trek. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, your guide to wisdom and creating a living legacy. Thank you for joining us for our 5-day-per-week Wisdom and Legacy Building podcast. This is day 843 of our trek, and time for our Philosophy Friday series. Each Friday, we will ponder some of the basic truths and mysteries of life and how they can impact us in creating a living legacy. As we continue on this trek that we call life, sometimes we have questions about life. So our Friday trek is a time where we can Ask Gramps. Gramps will answer questions that you would like to ask your dad or granddad, but for whatever reason, this is not possible. No matter how old we are, I know that all of us would like the opportunity to ask Dad or Gramps questions about life in many areas. We will address areas such as finances, relationships, health and fitness, business and work, home repairs and renovations, seasons of life, spiritual and biblical questions, and any other areas that come our way. As your fellow sojourner and mentor on this trek that we call life, it is Gramps' goal to provide you with practical wisdom and advice about any area of life. It is crucial that I receive a constant flow of questions, so please submit your questions to Guthrie at wisdom-trek.com, and Gramps will answer them on our Friday podcast. We are broadcasting from our studios at the Big House in Marietta, Ohio. Money is something that affects us every single day of our life. It is used to pay for shelter. It is used to pay for food for our families. It is used to purchase heat in the winter. It is used for necessary medical care. The list could go on and on. So the question for today is, hey Gramps, I have a very difficult time controlling my spending. Even when we receive more money than expected or needed, it seems to be gone so quickly. What can I do to help control the money I have so that I can get ahead in life? So the topic for today is controlling your money. This topic is very near and dear to me because I see so many of my friends, family members, and associates struggle to get control on how they use their money. Financial control seemed to be relatively easy for me, but I realize that I am the exception. Since money is so important to our daily lives, you would think we'd devote more time trying to keep it. However, it seems like most people regularly devote more time on trying to find new ways to spend it. This is akin to an addiction for most people. First, as with so many other aspects in our life, you need to change your thinking. All the money and other resources that we possess are not really ours. It has been given to us by God, and during the few years that we have on earth, we are only managers or stewards of God's resources. We are held accountable for how wisely we manage the money or other resources that we have. You came into this world naked with nothing, and so it is when you leave this world. At best, we are stewards of what we are blessed with. Once you have this mindset firmly ingrained in your mind, then you will start looking at your resources differently. Due to this interesting paradox, I find it necessary to occasionally sit back and reflect on my financial life. To do this, I ask myself a few questions regarding my current financial health. Each question is very short and is designed to get me thinking about the bigger picture of keeping and investing the money I have been given to manage. I encourage you to ask yourself these same questions in order to keep a proper mindset of the resources that you are responsible for managing. So here we go with the questions to ask yourself. Is the money being invested in things that truly matter to me? In other words, are there items on my budget that could be removed or reduced to better utilize my income? Does your use of money really reflect your values? Do you even attempt to budget your money? Next, what was the last item that I regretted purchasing? Why did you regret purchasing it? What was the mood when you purchased it? Can you implement strategies to avoid making these same mistakes? The next one is, what's holding me back from taking action? A very crucial question is, why do you fear financial freedom? What's standing in your way? How can you eliminate that obstacle or obstacles? Next is, how would my budget look without debt payments? Once again, this assumes that you are trying to budget your money. Is a large portion of your income going toward interest payments? What would you do with all that extra cash flow? Would you save it and invest your money to prepare for later in life and assist furthering God's kingdom? Would you give it to those who are less fortunate? How would your conversation about money in your house change? The next question is, am I listening to the right people? Are you surrounding yourself with good financial influences? Is the advice you're receiving the best for your situation? Does your spouse want nothing to do with the financial issues at hand? Are you taking advice from others who are also struggling financially, or from those who are successful in managing their God-given resources? Next question for you is, how can I improve my financial literacy? When you are faced with issues relating to your finances, are you researching solutions or are you just giving up? Are you utilizing the local library or the internet to read everything possible that you can about your personal finances? Next question, what is my true hourly wage? After commuting costs, time getting around at work, and clothing expense, how much are you really making per hour? How can you reduce those extra costs? Can you do away with the miscellaneous purchases for meals or even coffee? The next question is, how do I increase my income? How long has it been since you've asked for a raise at work? Can you take on a part-time job? Do you want to change careers? Do you have a small business idea and the capital to make it happen? The next question, if I died today, would my family be okay? Would your family be able to sustain their current standard of living? If not, how can you ensure that they are able to? Next question, am I setting a good example for my children? Are you teaching your children good financial values? Do you want your children to have the same issues that you're currently having? How can you help them to avoid your mistakes? If you don't have children, think about your future children or other young people that you influence. And the final question is, where do I want to be 1 year from now financially? What are the steps that you can take today to get started on your goal? And then ask, what's holding you back? Hopefully these questions have sparked some critical thinking regarding your finances. Are they the only questions that you should be asking? Absolutely not. Your questions might be completely different, but it is just as important that you ask yourself these questions periodically. When you change your thinking about who owns your resources, it helps you to become more careful on how you use those resources. We are responsible for handling the resources that God has given to each one of us, whether it is little or much. I encourage you to read Matthew chapter 25, verses 14 through 30, about the wise and foolish managers of their master's resources. Let's take a portion of that today and read verses 19 through 21. After a long time, their master returned from a trip, and he called them to give an account on how they used his money. The servant to whom he had entrusted 5 bags of silver came forward with 5 more bags and said, Master, you gave me 5 bags of silver to invest. I have earned 5 more. The master was full of praise. Well done, my good and faithful servant. You have been faithful in handling this small amount. So now I give you many more responsibilities. Let's celebrate together. When you have the mindset of this servant, you have learned how to manage your resources effectively. Next week, we will have a different question to Ask Gramps. Gramps will answer any questions that you may have about life and will provide you with practical wisdom about any area of life. So please submit your questions to Guthrie at wisdom-trek.com, and Gramps will answer them on our Friday podcast with wisdom and philosophy that Gramps has gained over the many years of experience and studies. I know that you'll find these insights interesting, practical, and profitable in living a rich and satisfying life. Our next trek will be Meditation Monday, where we will help you to reflect on what is most important in life. So encourage your family and friends to join us, and then come along with us on Monday for another day of Wisdom Trek, creating a legacy. If you'd like to listen to any of the past 842 daily treks or read the associated journals, they are all available at wisdom-trek.com. I encourage you to subscribe to Apple Podcast or Google Play so that each day's trek will be downloaded to you automatically. And thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide, your mentor, but most importantly, I am your friend as I serve you through the Wisdom Trek podcast and journal. And as we take this trek of life together, let us always live abundantly, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend to others generously, lead with integrity, and then leave a living legacy each day. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, reminding you to keep moving forward, enjoy your journey, and then create a great day every day. See you on Monday.